I don't have one right now. I don't have a boyfriend. And I can't say I'm really looking. I think it'll come along at the right time. I have a lot of friends, and when that guy comes along, I'll know it, he'll know it, and then it'll happen. But I am really busy with the career and the fact that I'm getting ready to go back to school, so I'll just see how it works out.
3 years ago, there was this terrible rumor out. What is the deal with you and R. Kelly? Are you all married or not?
No, I'm not married. Robert's doing his thing, I'm doing my thing. He's a great producer, a great artist who I do admire, and there's nothing there at all.
We are here.
This is my place.
This is
in
the
New York.
final frontier.
Big stories tonight. Singer-actress Aaliyah is killed in a plane crash. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. A breaking story out of the Bahamas tonight. Authorities have confirmed that R&B singer and actress Aaliyah is among 8 people killed in a plane crash.
Yeah, the plane crashed as it tried to take off from the island of Abaco in the Bahamas. 9 people, all Americans, were on board that plane. One man survived the crash and was taken to a nearby hospital. The plane was leaving Marsh Harbor Airport around 3:50 local time when it went down.
Aaliyah and her crew had been shooting a video in the Bahamas. The plane was taking the group back to the United States when it crashed. CNN is reporting that baggage handlers said the plane was overloaded with suitcases and that the handlers and the plane's pilot complained about the heavy load. But they say passengers insisted on taking everything with them.
Aaliyah's untimely demise changed a lot in my mind. I was angry at first. Why is she so stupid? Why would she get on that plane with all that luggage? Why she gotta be so vain? The luggage could have came late. As much money as she had. But see, what nobody really got told about that story, and it's only been mentioned in a few documentaries, is that the reason why she was in such a rush to leave the island was because someone had called her and told her that Damon Dash had been in a nearly fatal accident, and he was on his deathbed, and she had to rush to Miami to be by his side. That's how much she loved him, and she was willing to put her life on the line for it. See? If somebody called me and told me that my husband was about to die, I would do whatever I got to do to get there. And from what I was also told from other people that was on the shoot, packing all that luggage on the plane wasn't her idea either. She was told, because the rap, the video had rapped, that all of their belongings had to leave right then, that she couldn't leave them behind, that nothing, they had to take everything with them, knowing that there was already almost 1,000 pounds worth of human on that plane, and then like 800 pounds of luggage. They said, well, if you gotta go right now, you gotta take all your stuff with you right now. And she was willing to risk it just to be with Dave. And I believe Dave, in the interview that he had done maybe 5 or 6 years ago, he said he never sent that phone call to summons her to Miami. He never had his assistant.
Lash impact goes sky high. New Lash Sensational Sky High Mascara from Maybelline, New York. Limitless length plus volume. Sensational from every angle. New Lash Sensational Sky High Mascara. Only from Maybelline, New York.
Extra large panoramic moonroof in the Subaru Forester.
Call her for any reason, and he wasn't even in Miami. Aaliyah got a phone call that the love of her life was about to die in Miami, and he wasn't even in Miami, and the call came from his assistant, which didn't exist either. And Fatima, the choreographer, heard that phone call because she mentioned it too in an interview, and she never mentioned it again. She got a phone call from a person that wasn't real about a situation that had never happened, being summoned to a place where her fiancé was not, and forced to leave with all of her belongings if she left right there, which would put the plane in danger. I don't know, but where I come from, that sounds like a setup.
And there are some new developments surrounding that tragic plane crash. It turns out the pilot of that plane, Luis Morales III, was recently charged for cocaine possession and may not have been authorized to fly that plane. Morales pleaded no contest to the drug possession charge just 12 days before the crash. He was a certified pilot hired to fly the plane just 2 days before the crash, but officials with the FAA say they do not have any records authorizing him to fly the plane for the operator. The cause of the crash is still under investigation, although engine failure and overloading of cargo are two theories being considered.
I remember exactly where I was, what I was doing when I first heard about Aaliyah's death and her passing. I was discombobulated, okay? But I also remember the reactions of the people and the fans, and people were eerily shocked. There were a lot of intermingling of suspicions surrounding Aaliyah's untimely death.
And in the Ponca City Blackwell area, 68 degrees today. Winds southerly at about 15 with gusts of 25 miles an hour. Barometric pressure 30.00 and is rising. And no precipitation. We're about a half inch behind, half inch ahead for the year, and 1 5300ths behind for the...
The question isn't which came first, it's who gets to take home that adorable little Reese's egg.
You know that apps and websites are collecting your data. You know that some devices are
For the year so far. We'll be looking for a little bit of a change tomorrow, and of course the possibility of some scattered showers. Today, of course, there's nothing showing up on the radar. However, the satellite photo was pretty interesting for the western half of the U.S. Rain showers and thunder showers along that frontal system, and that wide band of fairly heavy snows. Now, what will happen each time that you see the frontal system on there, that begins...
So after the passing of Aaliyah, Mary Blige was a guest on 106 in Park, where she gave a peculiar interview. Now, in this interview, she said that Aaliyah was murdered. Then she switched it up and said it was a spiritual murder.
I'm assuming that the ribbon that you have is in memory of Aaliyah.
Yeah, this is my crew. We put, the style she gave everybody ribbons. And, this, I don't even know what to say. I just know that was a murder. You know what I'm saying? That was a spiritual murder, whether people know it or not. Because God don't kill people. You know what I'm saying? Whether people know it or not. And I could go deep, but a lot of people I would have to really bring proof. You know what I'm saying? For what I learned. And she just was cut down in the prime of her life. And it's so unfair. And it wasn't time. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't. I believe it wasn't her time to go, because from what I know, it ain't supposed to go down like that. And just simple obedience, like, your gut always warns you. That your gut never lies to you. And something like luggage and clothes and jewelry and all this madness that we worship is called false idols. We need to really look at the bigger picture right now. Yeah. And look at how honey could be here right now. Yeah. So you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. And judging from Mary's body language in this interview, something sinister was afoot. And Mary knew she had to get her shit together. So much so, Mary went on to do an interview in several magazines where she spoke about Aaliyah's death and how Aaliyah's passing changed her life. So in the article, it says Mary J. Blige gave up her drink-fueled lifestyle after experiencing the shock of fellow R&B star Aaliyah's untimely death. The 34-year-old singer became paranoid about her own demise after hearing the Romeo Must Die beauty had been killed in a plane crash in the Bahamas in 2001. Blige explains, "She wasn't a close friend. It was just that when I saw her die, that's when I discovered the fact that I'm next. I don't know how or when, but I'm next. I don't know what kind of freak accident they're going to put me in or what kind of overdose of heroin they're going to sort out. But at the end of the day, I knew I was next. I just thought, I'm scared. That damn Mary done told all the business, okay? In very little words, but she said enough. Okay, now, Aaliyah's death, they say she died because of an overload of luggage on the plane. And everybody else, on the plane perished and everything. So, Mary, what are you talking about? Where's the heroin, the overdose? Where's all this talk coming from? Why are you scared? Why were you scared? Okay? And if you were scared back then, I'm quite sure you're scared now. Okay? Now, y'all remember back in the day, your grandma, your mom, your great-grandmother used to tell you, don't be playing that devil's music in my house and, all of that. I didn't even know what they meant back then, but I damn sure know now.